So at Georgia Pacific, our brand purpose and what we're trying to do is we're trying to create virtuous cycles of mutual benefit. So what that really boils down to is if we can create value for our customers, and if we can create value for our consumers, in turn, we will create value for ourselves. And so I think retailers becoming media publishers or media giants, whatever you want to call it, this is that perfect situation where we are creating those virtuous cycles. So for the retailers, as margins continue to get compressed in store, entrants like Lidl in the marketplace, we're continuing to drive down lower and lower costs for the consumer. They're looking for other revenue streams. And so monetizing their first-party data, creating rich media experiences is a great way for them to find additional value. I think it's no surprise there. For the consumer, so depending on where things shake out with CCPA, really we're creating more rich experiences. We're providing more relevant ads to them at the right time based on their consumer experience journey or their shopping behaviors. And so then in turn for us, for GP, what I mentioned is, so this does create those virtuous cycles. For the retailer, it's giving us another negotiating point when we talk about our total retail relationship. We try to lay out all the trading variables, so it's not just our trade investment, it's not just what we're getting from feature and display, it's not just the price in store, but now we're adding media to that mix, which is a very unique blend. And also, I know Ryan and team are building out their first-party set. Not a lot of people are trying to give their data to go to angelsoft.com to buy toilet paper. They're generally doing it in the regular purchase. So for us, it gives us access to a lot of rich first-party data on our consumers that we actually don't have ourselves. So how this all comes to life. So like I mentioned, from a targeting perspective, we are relying on those retailers with their, depending on who it is, 100 million first-party data profiles for people that are shopping our categories. So we're using that to get a really refined targeting approach based on our goals and objectives for the brand. Then, because they have so many first-party data sets, they're able to get really short, closed feedback loops. So we're targeting, we're getting some results on that, so getting that quick measurement, we're getting statistical significance at a very fast rate. Then that allows us to optimize. Assuming myself, my team, we're doing our jobs, at the end of the day, we're trying to optimize to make a little bit, so you can see some coins down there. We're trying to drive the best efficient returns that we can for our business. So in this space, I think when retailers as publishers originally came about, it was predominantly display and search, but this continues to expand rapidly. It's not just display banners, it's not just people searching toilet paper, but it's continued to expand. So someone like a Pinterest has started to partner with retailers, so you can bring social into the mix. Then if you think about OTT, so it's not just Amazon Fire TV, but retailers are working with some partners like Hulu to share data so that they can get better targeting through those platforms, better measurement back through those platforms. And it will continue to expand from there. So a great example would be audio, where there's Alexa, they're starting to experiment with audio ads. If you haven't been served, you will continue to see that grow more and more. Beta started in Q2 and it's continued to expand. But like I mentioned, so Pandora and Kroger, for instance, have a partnership now where they're sharing that data, so we could target our Kroger shoppers based on that first-party data and get some great sales results back. So for GP, and I think for most companies, we're trying to get the right target in the right content in the right context. And so our brand teams, we have great cohorts. We're trying to identify some information about our key target audience. And so from a retail standpoint, we're taking what we're doing from a cohort and then we're applying it to the retailer. So, if we're trying to grow trial, we might go after some lapsed shoppers through the retailer or people that are buying the category, but maybe not necessarily us. From a content perspective, so this is our creative, but also our landing page experience. So putting together the right content that's going to resonate with that key target, but then also driving them to an experience that's adding value to them. And then for context, so I think most people think about context as just appearing in the right locations. But for us at GP, we're not only thinking the right location, but the right environment. So not only where it physically is, but where it is in their shopping experience and how they're thinking about things. So I wanted to break this down in a real-world example. So we have continued to explore tentpole events with our key retail partners. So our first one we ever did was a quilted northern Amazon example. So from a target audience standpoint, Quilted Northern, they were known for Northern toilet paper. It's been around since 1901, but not a lot of people have had a lot of experiences with the brand since. From a content perspective, our brand purpose was about creating experiences that were very forgettable. So we did not want you to remember Quilted Northern. Most of your bathroom experiences that you can remember are probably really bad ones. You're in a hotel, there's a single ply toilet paper, or maybe you're in a public restroom and there's nothing. Not the best experiences. So we wanted to have a very forgettable bathroom experience. And then from a context perspective, it was really about driving the message with the audience in all those right places. So wanted to share this example. Again, I apologize, it's a little bit dated, but wanted to give you the first sort of tentpole activation we did, and I'll show you how it evolved since then.
Quilted Northern has devoted the last 100 years designing the best toilet paper. The brand's ultimate purpose, to make your entire bathroom experience forgettable. But in 2016, Quilted Northern was challenged to grow in brick-and-mortar stores as consumers became less loyal and retailers favored private label. To survive and thrive, the brand needed to find new ways to sell toilet paper and foster loyalty. We quickly recognized that Amazon had unlimited shelf space, but fewer than 3% of US households bought toilet paper online. To nudge people to buy online, Amazon introduced the subscribe and save feature, which puts purchases of basic household staples on autopilot. This is when a light bulb went off. Together, Quilted Northern and Amazon could deliver not only a completely forgettable bathroom experience, but also a forgettable shopping experience. Introducing Forgettable for All, a one-day promotion launched on the most forgettable day of the year, National Toilet Paper Day. And we launched it on Facebook, like this.
National Toilet Paper Day is not like other holidays. There are no gifts. No parades. No jolly people in suits. And no one gets this day off work. We even share it with another holiday, which is way more important than National Toilet Paper Day. And we're a toilet paper company. Yes, National Toilet Paper Day is not like other holidays, but it's our holiday. Forgettable. Just how we like it. Hop over to Amazon.com anytime today and get up to 45% off Quilted Northern toilet paper. It's a deal designed for each and every American with a butt. Every single American butt. And that's something, right? Subscribe and save on Amazon so you never have to remember buying toilet paper or this holiday again. Quilted Northern, designed to be forgotten.
To change an ingrained habit, we flipped the brick-and-mortar shopping experience on its head, building stores in New York and Seattle, but with a catch. The pop-up stores were too small to walk inside. Instead, shoppers had to order Quilted Northern on their mobile phones. To reach consumers who were not in New York or Seattle on that day, we created a 360 tour of the pop-up stores. We also created a targeted display media campaign, including a Quilted Northern custom landing page on mobile, to drive our message home and further encourage shoppers to subscribe. Quilted Northern and Amazon made a forgettable day quite memorable. In just one day, we sold enough toilet paper to span the width of the United States from coast to coast several times over. Most importantly, we created a pipeline of loyal and valuable customers by getting shoppers to subscribe to Quilted Northern on Amazon.
So like I mentioned, this tied in very nicely. The brand really had a goal to reach younger consumers. Amazon delivered those younger consumers. I think no surprise. They skew a little bit younger, a little higher income than a lot of our other key retail partners. So that made a lot of sense. From a content perspective, Quilted Northern trying to create a brand that's designed to be forgotten. It aligns perfectly with the equity of subscribe and save on Amazon. You're signing up, and then you really don't have to think about re-shopping for toilet paper in that experience ever again. And so created a wonderful campaign. At the beginning of the campaign, we had a goal. We wanted to drive a month worth of sales in one day, and we actually exceeded that, driving over 2 months of sales in one day. So very exciting campaign for us, and definitely look to continue to try to build on that. So this is another example. This was the following year. So I think where we did really well with Amazon is we created a multi-channel campaign. So this was 2017, where omni-channel is the big buzzword. So we wanted to try to find an experience where we could tie it further. It wasn't just the campaign idea and tying with the equity of a retailer and adding some media vehicles to it. We wanted to see where we can incorporate the packaging, some cause marketing, get feature and display in store, and really tie everything together. So our equity for Bronny is a brand that stands for strength and resilience. And we thought what better topic to do is to partner with Girls Inc. So we put a woman on the pack for the first time in our entire brand's history. And so it was a really great opportunity for us, great partnership with See Her and Girls Inc. And it was also a partnership that Walmart was heavily invested in as well. So when they heard us doing this, they approached us about creating an integrated campaign with them. So the pack launched exclusively at Walmart. We also were able to get a nice viral benefit where you can see it sort of cuts off our brawny man or brawny woman at the head. And so we had people going in stores taking pictures of themselves just in the aisles of Walmart and posting it. So then Walmart continued to post that on their social media. We did it on ours. And all we're driving into this great both in-store and online experience featuring Brawny Strength as no gender. Moving forward, we continue to get, I'd say, a little more tactical. We had some really great awareness-driving vehicles, whether it was the Quilted Northern and Amazon and Brawny at Walmart, but then also trying to find different usage occasions. So Dixie and Vanity Fair are two of our brands. They are the most seasonally focused. We call it the Super 7, but basically, I mean, you all know your own habits. You're essentially buying paper plates and napkins when you're entertaining, so, you know, key holidays like Christmas, Thanksgiving. So really trying to drive more usage occasions, and so that's where we did some basket analysis with Target, trying to see what items people were buying at similar time periods, and we saw great affinity with summer grilling. So some nice Kraft Heinz brands in there, as well as integrating our Vanity Fair and Dixie. And we continue to do this. So whether, you know, these are just 3 small examples, but we had a great campaign that just launched the other week where Sparkle, they see a nice uptick for back to school. It's a very cost-efficient paper towel, so it's a great gift for teachers, for classrooms, and so we did a nice partnership with Dollar General Kids in Need and Sparkle paper towels that just launched last week. So I think these are all great examples of some awareness driving, but at the end of the day, we're a privately held company. We're trying to drive the most efficient returns possible, so my brand investors are saying, show me the money. So for us, that's really in paid search and those conversion and lower funnel activities. Just using toilet paper as an example. So toilet paper is a top 80 search term on Amazon. It's the first of any of the household essentials. This makes up for the vast majority of our sales on Amazon. It's people that are just searching toilet paper. And so we've seen being in the top spots of search is really where you want to be. If you're a high frequency, low interest category, when we're towards the top of the page, our conversion rate is double over any placement on the page. So really it's about people hand raising, they want their toilet paper. They don't really care what it is as long as the ratings and reviews look decent. And so that's really our conversion vehicle right there. So like I mentioned, there's a lot of opportunity for the higher level awareness in the space, whether it's the new OTT offers, the audio, and then there's lots of conversion for those people that just want to buy some toilet paper and move on with their experience. Where we're really interested in going is where we can add to the consideration set. You know, there's not a lot we can do with the toilet paper. You know, we can bid as much as we can, but there's a lot of competitive pressure there. So consideration, those people that maybe are doing a little more research, so we try to drive some positive ratings and reviews. We're working on more ways to respond to those, but definitely interested to see where it goes in the space. The retailers, they're probably making a little more margin in the higher level awareness things. We're probably focused on the conversion, but that middle area is going to be very interesting moving forward. So like I mentioned, at the end of the day, we're trying to drive some efficient returns where I think partners like an Amazon, like a Walmart, like a Kroger, where they're separating themselves out is that they have a lot more to offer than just media and media returns. And so I've developed a scorecard. We share this with our key investors, and it's a way to look at the total picture. So I'll start. I'm sort of a best for last person, so I'd say the bottom ones are probably the most important in the mix, but we'll go through it all. So from a data perspective, these partners, the ones that are doing better are the ones that have the most first-party data and that they're leveraging it. So whether it's targeting, whether it's for measurement, that's what we sort of start our initial conversations with these retailers is how many first-party data profiles do you have, what data points do you have, and how are you leveraging it? So from a targeting perspective, it's, like I mentioned, using that first-party data, but is there a value in having the retailer do it for you that we couldn't get. So like I mentioned, GP doesn't have a great, robust first-party data set. So there's a value to us in using these retailers. They're getting a lot more information in the purchase data coming back, and so we score that appropriately. From an integration standpoint, this would be whether they can tie into our DMP, whether they're creating self-service, API integrations for more automation and into our reporting dashboard. So if that's saving us time and resources because they have all this great access and they can pipe into the right areas, we try to evaluate that and put a score to it, essentially like what we are saving on the back end because of some of the efficiencies we're gaining from the ease of data access. From a measurement standpoint, so no surprises here, but what we're really focused on is getting those incremental returns. So looking at control and expose audiences, looking at the dollars per customer between the two and measuring the incremental impact. But there's other areas too. So I think if we were just looking at our Amazon sales, we might not necessarily invest in just Amazon, but Amazon does drive a total market impact for us. In our MMM, we see it might drive our sales at Walmart, at Dollar General, at Kroger, at other customers. And so if they're tying in a total market sales lift study like a Nielsen Catalina or IRI, there's a real value to that. We would invest on that in our own, so if they're providing it at added value, we give them credit for that spend. So I mentioned I'm a best for last kind of person, so those top four, I would say over the next year, you'll see a lot of parity. Everyone's gonna offer a very similar approach as it relates to those top ones, whether it's Amazon, Walmart, Target, or you name it. I think the bottom two is really where we'll start to see differentiation and for people to start to stand out in this space. So relationship impact, I tried to put this broad, but the biggest value is gonna be, is there a P&L impact to our buyer? So I mentioned combining trading variables. So if, for instance, we can invest, if we invest $1 in media, if we can invest $1 less in trade, that's a huge savings for us and a huge value. So we wanna give credit appropriately. Also, if it gives us more access in terms of like JBPs or people that we're integrating with, and then we get beta partnerships or other opportunities as a result, there's a value. Lastly, and most importantly, at the end of the day, we're trying to drive efficient economic value for the company. And so really it's trying to drive the best returns. We have a lot of alternatives, everyone does. It's a very fragmented media space, so Google or Facebook. If Amazon or Walmart is driving the most efficient returns for us, we'll continue to invest. So for the path forward, there's a lot evolving in this space. I'd say the two key areas of focus are they're gonna continue to build capabilities. So OTT, audio are probably the biggest ones today. Self-service being followed not so closely behind, but I'll pause with this example. I think it's no secret in the space that the NFL and Sunday Ticket is having some issues with DirecTV and AT&T. So they're putting up streaming for bid coming in the future. Right now, the two leaders for that bid is ESPN Plus and Amazon. So think about that. Amazon has the largest, or one of the largest first-party data sets, and they could potentially be capturing the largest live audience if they get that deal. So that would be a huge integration. If Jeff Bezos had Swagger right now, I couldn't imagine what those two combined would end up doing. I guess lucky for us, we don't play a lot in the football space, so we can avoid that one. And then the other area is, I'd say beyond our room here in CPG, is continuing to expand to non-endemic partners. So endemic would be people that are selling products. I think all of us sell to Amazon and Walmart, but continuing to expand, whether it's like a BMW or Verizon, using that data that's relevant to other people outside of our space and continuing to build ad capabilities. So I'll pause there for a second if anyone has any questions.
Yeah, so Brian Watson, Kraft Heinz. Quick question. So you talked a lot about data sharing with retailers, partnerships with retailers. Where have you guys seen success in terms of actually getting some type of visibility back from those retailer channel partners about who's buying what? Because I think we're probably both in the same situation of not being really D2C, of losing that visibility. Yeah, so I think everything is it's really a partnership and trying to work together. So in some of the examples, like, we did the launch with Brawny at Walmart and National Toilet Paper Day with Amazon. As part of the larger campaign that we were putting together, we had some asks in the front end for information that we would get on the back end.
So I don't know if anyone saw the discount. It was a pretty heavy discount. It was if you subscribe to 5 or more items, so it wasn't just in the flat discount. But we wouldn't do that with just a short-term return in mind. So as one of our prerequisites was to get the repeat data on the back end so that we could prove what the long-term value was. So more and more when we start our upfront negotiations, we work through our internal stakeholders. What are the data points that we value the most? And so we ask for those as part of the total ask. So it's not like, hey, we're going to invest in the back end. Oh, by the way, we'd love all this data. Please give it to us. It's, we will give you this investment if you can give us data in the back end.
Mike, how are you evaluating this inventory relative to other types of online inventory? So when you're thinking about allocation decisions, how much money is starting to move into this space and say away from social, Google, all the other usual suspects?
Yeah. So one of my favorite conversations I have with each of our brand teams when we launch campaigns is their goals are always trial and awareness. The KPIs you use for trial is very different than the KPIs you use for awareness. Like I mentioned, privately held company, very economically driven. So when we evaluate these partners, we are tying it back to the specific incremental sales volume that we're driving and the efficiency that we're able to do it. So for some of the partners like Google or Facebook, it's harder to get that in a real-time basis. So we use a couple different data points. So we have mixed modeling. We're measuring all these retail media capabilities as part of our MMM. And so we're even trying to segment it out a little bit. Using Amazon as an example, they have a lot of offers. So we do link-in media that drives to our Amazon product detail pages. We do link-off that drives to our brand websites. And so trying to split all those and measure it in MMM from a total market impact is one way we do it. But then if we have some specific sales volume goals at a specific retailer, we'll measure the efficiency and compare it to some of the alternatives. I would say for
do you have a sense yet of how that measures up, how those numbers actually flesh out?
It always depends. We have a lot of brands in the building and a lot of different retailers. So we've been partnering with Amazon for a long time. We've seen some success, whether it was direct Amazon sales or in our MMM from a total market perspective. So we have seen some success there. And then for the ones that we don't, we also keep in mind all those total values. So if there's a relationship impact, that's maybe a reason we're investing more in them. We try to combine the total picture. With a Google or a Facebook, it's really a pure media return. And for the retailers, we're combining that the media return in addition to the other benefits that we're getting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Are there any limitations on the data that you're getting back from Amazon?
Yes, lots and lots. I'd say some of the better data points we're getting in general, and so this is for us and what's valuable to us. We are very interested in the long-term benefits, so repeat information is a really key one for us. But then we're trying to get better at creating more personalized experiences, I think, just like everybody else. So if we can get more information on our audience specific to that retailer, it's helped us build out more robust campaigns and more relevant. So AngelSoft was a really good example. AngelSoft is a value brand. It's a wonderful product for the money, but I would say it's not the most relevant to a more premium or high-income audience. I think not a major surprise there. But what we saw was that when we started to get more data from a customer like Amazon, we realized that our shopper for AngelSoft on Amazon more closely resembles the Amazon audience than it does our AngelSoft audience. So if we're trying to drive Amazon-specific sales, it doesn't make sense to go back to our standard sort of efficiency messaging. So some of that data has helped us refine our creative message on a customer-specific basis.
So Mike, that was great. Thank you so much.